billion rand imports bills on the continent is quite staggering. Does it say why Africa is battling to feed itself?
Well, Devin, I am getting a little bit of a break in sound, in audio between you and I, but I got to tell you something. This report has actually put this issue of agriculture on the table. There were people who were really concerned when the figures start coming out that Africa is spending about 35 billion rand per year on importing food, when it has this vast agricultural land, agricultural resources, and good climate as well as good rainfall. But part of the reasons why agriculture is not faring why Africa is not faring so well agriculture-wise are known factors. Fact that most of the farmers across the continent are not really formalized, and they're still really not commercialized. They're still really using old methods of farming, and this is part of the reason why the sector has failed to attract enough resources that can develop farming and make farming one of the biggest tool and biggest resources for the continent.
Indeed, and infrastructure seems to be one of the highlights in terms of problems that farmers face. To what extent has the summit really grappled with the issue of infrastructure, particularly when it comes to what farmers adequately have to do their work?
Well, Devin, I'm still battling to hear you, but the sense that I'm getting, I'm sure the gist of the question is really about what the sector needs to do, in fact, to make sure that they put farming at the top of what the continent does. The report, the Africa Progress Report, has come up with a few suggestions in terms of what African governments and leaders need to do. And one of those is just put as much resources in farming as possibly can. And it's urging both the private and the public sector to come to the party with regards to getting resources and getting smaller farmers, particularly smaller farmers, because the continent is dominated mostly by smaller farmers. That is where they're supposed to start in terms of building and developing agriculture on the sector. And about close to 70% of African population depends on agriculture, and the message here is that is a resource that should be utilized. One of the other issues that came out today, Devin, is the issue of protecting the resources that the continent has got, and Transparency International is very much involved in the putting together of this report, and has highlighted the importance of transparency, saying foreign companies that come and operate in Africa should actually be able to be transparent and open their books, show what exactly the benefits they're getting, the tax incentives that they're getting, so that we make sure that the money does not leave Africa, the money stays in Africa and trickles down to a man on the street, and in that way it will be able to reduce inequality, and it will be able to reduce poverty.
All right, thanks very much indeed. Some audio problems there, but we got the gist of what Leutla Motlogelwa had to say. Thanks very much indeed. Now, consumers in emerging markets, including South Africa, still prefer to use cash instead of mobile money transfers.